You must be the youngest Quidditch player in a century, according to McGonagall.
One of the most memorable parts of Harry Potter is Quidditch. It's such an integral part of the story that it comes as a shock when you realize Harry only ever played 9 games across the whole series. The only time he actually played the whole season was in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And until Order of the Phoenix, Harry had only ever played with the same 6 teammates. It is also highly implied that these players all played together before Harry was on the team. But is that really true? Well, no. But let's talk about it anyways. So between Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the Gryffindor Quidditch team stood as follows. Playing Seeker was Harry Potter. Keeper was Oliver Wood. The beaters were Fred and George Weasley, and the chasers were Katie Bell, Alicia Spinnet, and Angelina Johnson. We can confirm that 3 of these players, Wood and the Weasley twins, were on the team in the season prior to Sorcerer's Stone. They say as much in that book, with this line. "We know Oliver's speech by heart," Fred told Harry. "We were on the team last year." On the other hand, we can confirm that 2 players were not on the team the previous season. First is Alicia Spinnet through this quote on the next page from our last one. "A neat pass to Alicia Spinnet, a good friend of Oliver Wood's. Last year only a reserve." The other is Katie Bell, due to her appearance in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, where it is confirmed that she is a year older than Harry. This means she would have been a first year in the season in question, and we all know.
But first years never make the house teams.
Lastly, we have Angelina Johnson, who we don't know if she played before Harry joined. Personally, I lean to no. Okay, so we have 2 or 3 players who were new, but that begs the question, when did they join? I personally believe that the answer is stupidly simple. I think Oliver Wood held tryouts at the beginning of the school year like every team is supposed to. This would explain everything, but it does open up a new question. Why didn't he get a Seeker during that tryout too? This is what a lot of fans tend to point out is wrong with this theory. And to answer that, we need to turn back to my last video about Harry Potter. You see, in the 1991 school year, the year Sorcerer's Stone takes place in, there was a very small overall school size, almost half of what it usually should have been. I also know that Gryffindor almost certainly would have had an even smaller house size, given that they were the main group who stood up to Voldemort and were subsequently decimated. So, we can assume that the pool of possible Seekers must be tiny if it even exists at all. We also know that Wood is an absolute fanatic for the sport and would only settle for the best on his team. So it is probable that Wood was just not happy with the possible Seekers, or there just weren't any. So, he would be more than happy to hear that McGonagall found him a good Seeker. Which he was, as Fred noted. "You must be good, Harry. Wood was almost skipping when he told us." This sequence of events also explains why there's no reserve Seeker. At the end of the book, Harry is in the hospital wing for the final match after his fight with Quirrell, and it is said that Gryffindor had to play a man short. Many people have taken this to mean Wood had no reserves whatsoever, but it might just mean he never had a reserve Seeker specifically. Once again, we can point to the small, if existent, pool of possible substitutes as the issue. Now, it might seem dumb to run a whole match a man short, but as we know, Wood can be rather brash, so I think this actually fits in terms of Wood's characterization. So, in conclusion, I do believe that Wood held tryouts at the beginning of Sorcerer's Stone, but he just didn't get a Seeker. This connects a lot of dots that were left open in the book. Thank you very much for watching.